Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the tailgate. I'm your host, Michael Quattromani, and once again, it is a pleasure to have you here. If you enjoy listening to what I say, then make sure to subscribe and turn on post notifications so that you never miss an upload. So I really don't have any other things to go over. I'm just gonna get right into it. It's really just seemed like an eternity since I've done a podcast, but in reality, it's been like a week. Um, but okay, here we go. So in this episode, I am basically just gonna give my picks for this Sunday's game. I don't have any like news things to go over. Like normally, I'll have like a surprise, like oh my god, I can't believe this happened, or like a hot take or prediction. Like I don't really have any of those. I have one, but it's on the 411 podcast. If you want to go check that out, I'll leave a link to our latest episode down below. Um, but no, I don't have anything crazy to really go over. I'm just gonna give you all of Sundays and Monday night games, my predictions for them, and we'll see how they pan out. So, first on the dock, we got the Carolina Panthers at the Atlanta Falcons. So, right now, Carolina is sitting at 2-2, and Atlanta is 0-4. They are winless on the season. Both offenses are playing well right now. Atlanta's defense is second worst in yards and points per game. So, I think Carolina, to me, is just the safer pick. Teddy Bridgewater is going to play really well. I have him starting in fantasy this week if Cam Newton isn't able to play. So, I think Carolina is a safe bet. So, second game we have is the Buffalo Bills at the Tennessee Titans. Both teams are undefeated, but Tennessee's only played 3 games this year because Tennessee they had the coronavirus, so they weren't able to play last week. But look, both defenses, they're pretty evenly matched, with Tennessee actually being slightly better. I think you'd assume that, Buffalo has been the better team, but defensively, but they just haven't. They gave up 28 to the Dolphins, 32 to the Rams, and I think they had one other game where they gave up a lot of points too. Josh Allen right now is legitimately having an MVP season. It seems crazy, and I for one didn't think that he was going to break out this much, if not at all. But look, through the first month of the year, I'm probably going to give Josh Allen. I can't not Russell. No, Russell Wilson gets the MVP nod for me. But look, I think the Bills. I'm gonna pick them until they lose. I just think that they're hot right now, looking good, and there are not too many teams that I'd pick over them. So, third game, we've got the Las Vegas Raiders at the Kansas City Chiefs. Kansas City's undefeated right now, and I don't think the Raiders are going to get in the way of them remaining undefeated. So, Kansas City's got my vote. I don't see how they can lose this game. Last week, they did show some signs of, non-immortality versus the Patriots. Patriots had a great game plan. I said it once, I'll say it again. If Cam Newton is healthy and he plays in that game, I think the Patriots win 999 times out of 1,000. They just drew up a fantastic game plan, limited the Chiefs to 6 points in the first half, which is remarkable. And look, I think the Patriots are really showed once again. I said earlier I don't like 2 moral victories in a season, but look, I think they have 2. The defense showed that. Even with all the opt outs, even with all the departures to other teams, this is still a defense that is powerful, and they're gonna shut some teams down, and they shut down arguably the most powerful offense in the NFL. So Kansas City over the Raiders. Next, we got the Arizona Cardinals at the New York Jets. New York is starting a backup quarterback right now for Joe Flacco this week, and Arizona is coming off back-to-back pretty bad losses, so I'm expecting them to rebound against the 0-4 Jets. Plain and simple. I don't think Arizona is a 500 football team. I think they're like 9-7. I think they're like 1 game over 500. But look, I think Arizona is just a better team than how they've played the last half a month. So I think the Jets are just going to be a nice little morale booster for them. Next, we got the Philadelphia Eagles at the Pittsburgh Steelers. Look, Philly, they stunned the 49ers last week, but I think that game was just a fluke. 49ers were starting Nick Mullins at quarterback, and they had a few injuries. It's really hard to pick the Eagles until Carson Wentz gets some sort of help with their offensive line and when they get their receivers healthy. There is rumors about Alshon Jeffrey potentially being healthy this week, but look, until I see active next to his name, I'm not going to bet anything on it. Jalen Rager still sidelined on IR with that injury. And the offensive line has just looked horrific this entire season. So until they get it together, it's going to be hard for me to pick Philadelphia. I think the Steelers have the fifth best defense in the league and are 13th in points per game. Both of those marks are ahead of the Eagles, so I'm just going to take the Steelers to remain undefeated. Next, we have the LA Rams versus the Washington football team. The Rams are rolling, right? And the Washington benched Dwayne Haskins, which might actually help them out. Kyle Allen is a more consistent quarterback, I'd say. The fumbles are an issue, but I don't think that even if he doesn't, I don't think that they just have enough to be good enough to beat the Rams. Besides that, the Rams look like a complete team on offense, and Aaron Donald is going to have a field day. I've got the Rams by a mile. Okay, no, not by a mile. I've got the Rams by a good amount. I think I think they are going to give the Rams fits, though, especially with that run defense. Chase Young is coming back this week. He's already making a mark in the NFL. And we've seen time and time again when Sean McVay isn't able to use his running offense with Darrell Henderson, Malcolm Brown, Cam Akers is potentially coming back this week. When the run game isn't cooking, there are times where that offense can stall because, a lot of that focus will be on Jared Goff being able to make good throws, and, sometimes he just isn't able to do that. So, look, if Washington's able to find an answer for the run game, then I think they'll have a legit shot to, shock the Rams. But until then, I just think that the Rams are just too powerful to lose to this Washington team. Next, we got Cincy at Baltimore. Look, Baltimore rebounded nicely from their Monday Night Football game versus the Chiefs by putting up 31 against, like I said, a solid Washington defense. So I just think, plain and simple, they're going to roll easily against this Bengals team. I think Joe Burrow is good. I think he's promising, but I don't think he's enough. I think he's kind of going to be a lot like Sam Darnold, where they just don't surround him with the pieces he needs. I've got Baltimore winning this one. Next, I got the Jacksonville Jaguars at the Houston Texans. This one is going to be a close game for me. I could see this definitely being decided by a field goal. I haven't really watched either team too much this season, though, so I feel like I wouldn't be fair if I was, going in depth about how each team is really playing. But going off of just stats in each team's record, Jacksonville is statistically the better team, so I'm just going to take them there. They are better, they put up more points per game, and they allow less points per game. So Jacksonville looks better right now. I know Minshew is coming off of back-to-back 3-touchdown games, so against Houston's lackluster secondary, don't be surprised if he'll have a field day, and Laviska Shenault Jr. is going to have a career day. I'm just calling it right now, a little hot take. Then, we've got the Miami Dolphins at the San Francisco 49ers. Again, it's going to be a pretty simple game for me. San Fran is healthy with Jimmy G back in the lineup, along with a hopefully fully healthy Deebo Samuel, and Raheem Mostert may return back depending on how he practices, how the report yesterday. And the 49ers, I just don't think they're going to have too much trouble. I mean, look, when this team is fully healthy, again, there aren't too many teams that can beat the 49ers, and I don't think Miami is one of those teams. Next, we have the Indianapolis Colts at the Cleveland Browns. Cleveland just had their biggest win in about 10 years last week versus the 1-3 Cowboys. So I don't think that they're going to be able to continue it versus a much better team in the Colts. Because, look, say what you want about Phillip Rivers, but he's completing 73% of his passes right now, and the defense is number 1 in opponent yards per game. I'll take the Colts. I'm not going to say, by a mile or easily, but I think the Colts are just the better team right now on both sides of the field. Now we got the New York Giants at the Dallas, I almost said Stars, or Mavericks, the Dallas Cowboys. No matter how many flaws the Cowboys have, I still pick them 1,000 times out of 1,000 to beat the Giants team. Giants are just, look, Daniel Jones looks bad, Saquon's hurt. There aren't too many things to be happy about with the Giants. I do think Evan Ingram's going to have a really good day, though, as I think Cowboys are 6th worst against tight ends this season, and Ingram had 10 targets last week, so obviously Daniel Jones is looking to get the ball to him, and I think that Ingram's going to come through today. And Dallas is allowed to touchdown to tight ends in the last 3 games, so expect Ingram. If you have him, I would start him this week. I am. So next, we've got the Denver Broncos at the New England Patriots. I don't really have too much time to analyze this because, had 400 other games to go over. But plain and simple, if Cam is healthy, there aren't too many teams I see beating this New England team, and the injured Broncos just aren't one of them. I don't think that the Broncos have too much of a shot, especially if Drew Lock isn't able to play, but I do think that the game being pushed to Monday night is going to help his odds, like it's going to help Newton's odds. But yeah, that's kind of where I'm going to leave it. I don't think that New England I still think they have double-digit wins in their future. I think that they can go 11-5. 12-4 might be stretching it. But look, I think we're looking at a 10-6, 11-5 football team. We're coming into the season. I don't think too many people gave them a shot to do that. I, for one, didn't, but I predicted 5-11 when Jarrett Stidham was their quarterback. And last night versus the Chiefs, not last night, but last week versus the Chiefs, they were looking like a 5-11 football team. But yeah, look, Cam Newton at quarterback obviously changes this offense, and it's going to tell other teams that Cam Newton is this offense, which is a little scary. It's going to make this New England team easier to game plan against, but I still think the Patriots are a very solid football team, and I think they can go up against anyone. I think we saw against Seattle, we saw against Kansas City that no team is just going to shut this team out, which makes them very scary come playoff time. Next, we got the Minnesota Vikings at the Seattle Seahawks. Minnesota is winless, and Seattle has an explosive offense. It's hard not to pick Seattle. They have had a few close games, which can be a little startling. They faced Atlanta, which Atlanta probably should have won. They faced Miami, where they only beat them by a field goal, I think. Or going into like the 2-minute warning, they were only up by a field goal. You don't want to be up by a field goal to Miami late in the game. And, in New England. I mean, they should have lost that game, really. If James White's healthy and, a few of those things go the Patriots' way, then I think New England wins that football game. So, right now, I've got Seattle, but I think Minnesota's going to make this a game. I don't think that... Look, say what you want about Kirk Cousins Monday night, but Sunday night, he's actually a very good quarterback. So, I think that Minnesota has a chance, but I've got Seattle. It's hard not to pick them. And then the last game of the week, we've got the L.A. Chargers at the New Orleans Saints. And New Orleans has looked really bad so far. They are 2-2 right now, but that is obviously in part to Michael Thomas's absence, as Drew Brees is 0-3 in his career when Thomas doesn't play. But now that Thomas is back, I do expect the Saints to get back on track against the Chargers. The Chargers have flashed Justin Herbert. Looks like a legitimate, I don't know about franchise quarterback just yet through, 2 or 3 games, however many he's played, but he looks like a starting quarterback right now. And I think it's in due to, Keenan Allen, Mike Williams, Hunter Henry, Austin Eckler for the most part. Having those guys around him is definitely helping him out and having that solid defense. But look, right now, I mean, there's not too much you can really knock on the guy. He stood toe-to-toe against the Buccaneers and Tom Brady. So as a rookie, there's not too much you can expect from him. He didn't even start week 1, so... But look, right now, there's not too much you can really critique negative about the guy. So I like Justin Herbert and the Chargers, but I think New Orleans is going to get back on track. New Orleans is a playoff team. Arguably, so 2-2, dude. I don't think they're necessarily a Super Bowl contender anymore, but I think they're a playoff team, and I think it's hard, not to pick them against the Chargers this week. So I'll take the Saints. But I think that is going to wrap it up for today. I hope you enjoyed watching, and I hope to see you guys next time. Have a good one. I think I was born inside a cabana with diamonds and gold on top of the phantom.